Water carrier, this aqueduct, is not Roman. It's not that old by any means. As a matter of fact, it only goes back about 150 years, which was very marshy, not well drained and so on. Flat valley plain. No, the same river that flows through Florence flows through here. In fact, it was on a Sunday, they call it Bloody Sunday in the history here. They managed to actually go over the walls, and there was the Medici family. Medici things. Yep. Can you see the dome on the right hand side there? White. It's all white because they're using marble. Okay, and there's a tower. In fact, the dome of the baptistry is much bigger than the dome of the church. And you're going to get baptized in the baptistry, of course, and then you walk into the church. And the architecture, when you get down there, is what they call Romanesque, the Gothic style. Now, as I understand it, in a church like this one here, this sort of style here, the walls have to be very solid, very thick. Now, big mistake. The cathedrals here would have been old Roman temples and what have you. And they started building on top of those. Now, between where the line touches the ground to the base of the tower, you're looking at over 16 feet. Every time they wanted to do something about it, the Leaning Tower, and counter back to you later on how they had to freeze the ground. You're on the road. Had it on later, right? That was the solution. And if you look at it, you can see that in fact it is slightly leaning back. You see that it's not exactly dead straight, it's leaning slightly back to make it look straight. It doesn't make it look straight anymore. And when you used to go up there, the actual stairs are inside. But on every level, there was a doorway and you could come out and stand and have a look. But there is no railing, there is nothing there. And you can imagine how freaky it feels to come outside, this narrow balcony around, and you're sort of going around like this, having a look and looking down. And, oh! Huh?
Đi đến dịch giá thì đi sẽ tha rồi. Chậm ngoài. Có hay cô à thôi. Đưa sang cái này. Cái tổng kinh cái xây trả cái lăng ủy đó. Cái đấy còn là bộ trả.
Tables, and at the other end, obviously, because the thing is actually leaning towards us, that's why I don't want to take too long here, but it's the other end that they've got to put the lead weight to hold it back. As a matter of fact, by putting the lead weight, they've managed to straighten it by about 2 or 3 inches. I mean, you know, the aim was not to straighten it at all or completely, because that would lose its charm, but it was to stop it from leaning further over, because eventually it would have to fall, obviously. So they want to just stop it the way it is, and that's what they're trying to do, and they seem to be so far successful at it. So that's the leaning tower approach. The other thing, of course, is the baptistry, the cathedral there, which you can see very small, narrow windows, not allowing very much sun in there, quite somber and so on. And even that cathedral obviously has got its own problems with sinking. if you have a look at the wall going off to the distance there, have a look at the first set of arches, and have a look at the wall going up there. You can actually see that they don't quite reach that first barrier, right? I mean, even there, when they were building, the whole thing was starting to sink, and so they had to do things to straighten it out. So you can imagine how many problems they had and why it took so long to build. And then, of course, you have the baptistry over there, which is actually a very plain room inside there, and it's probably best known for its echo. If you ever come along here with a soprano singer or something, she goes in there and sings one sharp, high C, very sharp and short, and the whole thing echoes in there for about 14 times. It just goes round and round and round. But they don't let you do that, unfortunately, unless you do it with permission and papers and authority and all the rest of it. In the Yellowstone underground map, and I've shown you how easy it is to get from the center of town to the hotel. So all the shoppers who want to shop till they drop on the place. In Paris, the Grand Arch, the Opera House, all built with Carrara marble. Australia, the Parliament buildings, okay, they're sent all over the middle and side as it becomes harder to get, and you know, they are going to run out, especially. So a lot of the fishing and whatever and all the life in the streams has now pretty well died, and of course out to sea on the left-hand side, apparently from the air you can see for miles up and down the coast, depending which way. Motorways by the way, I'll be reminding you that tomorrow when we leave, so don't pack away your cold wet. narrow and long, these lakes are all of glacial origin, and their banks are covered with a varied and luxuriant, particularly mild climate. The charm and originality of these trees throughout the year, the small sailing villages with their Pisa for its legendary
Kita rindik kan?
Ồ, chúng ta gì đây trên này có nhiều rồi trên.
Wow, nó tin tôi rồi. ก็ได้ตัวของกัน
Vì có cái đó thì chặt thì ngủ lại nhà nó
is something we use because